My Mother's Arms, hello, coming. This is a story about art, memory, and the silent language passed from mother to daughter. In a small sun-baked town nestled between the coast and the Andes, where the wind carried salt and stories, lived 16-year-old Isadora Reyes. She was a quiet girl, not shy, just observant, kind of teenager who listened more than she spoke, who drew things she didn't yet have words for. She lived with her mother, Mariela. Muralist known across the region for her vibrant, haunting works. Every wall she painted seemed to breathe. Women with wings, animals with human eyes, eyes that followed you, watched you, protected you. On her mother's arms were tattoos, a constellation of ink secrets that Isadora had grown up seeing but never really asking about. Until one day she did. It began with a single question, asked over a pot of manzanilla tea during a rainy Santiago afternoon. "Mama, what does that symbol mean?" Isadora pointed to the jagged spiral on her mother's left forearm. Mariela paused, looked at her daughter, then said, "You're not ready." And that was the moment something cracked open. For days after, Isadora began drawing obsessively. She sketched her mother's tattoos from memory. One by one, a jaguar biting its own tail, a hand wrapped in thorns, a weeping woman with no mouth. She didn't know what they meant, but her hands moved like they did. At school, Isadora drifted further away from friends who talked of dance parties and gossip. Instead, she hung out in the art room with Segura Rancibia, a retired painter who taught part-time. "Your lines are getting bolder," the teacher said one afternoon. "What's changed?" Isadora hesitated, then answered honestly, "I think I'm drawing things that were already inside me." One night, she found a wooden chest tucked beneath old canvases in the storage shed behind their house. It wasn't locked. Inside were notebooks, sketchbooks filled with paintings and entries in spidery cursive. Some were dated in the 1980s. Some pages were torn. Some were written in Mapadang, in the indigenous language of the Mapuche people. Her mother had never told her she spoke it. One name kept appearing, Island. "Whose island?" she asked over breakfast the next morning. Mariela didn't flinch this time. She sipped her coffee, then said, "She was my sister. She disappeared during the dictatorship. We were just teenagers. She was brave. I was quiet. Like you." That night, Mariela unrolled an old canvas Isadora had never seen. A large painting of two girls holding hands in a storm. One had long braids and fire in her eyes. The other wore a cracked mask. "The tattoos," Mariela said, "are pieces of her, of us. What we lost and what we survived." Over the next few weeks, something changed between them. Isadora began learning Mapadungan in secret through online videos, library books, and late-night listening sessions to her mother's old cassette tapes. She started adding Mapuche symbols to her own. Symbols for land, grief, healing. One afternoon, she painted a mural behind the school cafeteria. It showed a girl with ink pouring from her arms, turning into birds. People stopped and stared. Teachers, students, even strangers from the neighborhood. That week, Isadora's story ended up in a local newspaper, but what mattered most was what her mother said. When she saw it, "She is speaking now," Mariela whispered. "She's speaking in her own way." The next morning, Mariela rolled up her sleeves. "Pick one," she said. Isadora pointed to the jaguar tattoo. "That one. What does it mean?" Mariela smiled. "It means survival, even when it hurts." Then she pointed to Isadora's wrist. "Ready for yours." It wasn't a dare. It was an invitation. To remember, to honor, to become. Later that night, under a bare bulb in the kitchen, Isadora held her mother's hand as the needle buzzed. The ink was small, just a single line, but in it were years. Years of silence, of lost sisters, of found voices. She didn't need to say much after that. Her heart began speaking louder. So did she, and every time she touched her own skin, she felt the story she came from. This was the story of ink on my mother's arms, a story of remembering, retelling, reclaiming what was once hidden beneath the surface.